Hi everyone and welcome. For today's reading, I have something really special because I was guided to offer all my beautiful and lovely viewers a special channeled guided message because right now all of us are going through some really intense times and there can be a lot of confusion, there can be a lot of misinterpretation, especially when we misinterpret our own instincts, the self, our intuition, and whatever the higher self would like to inspire us with. And this is where it's almost part of the picture because it is way too intense, way too chaotic, way too wild. All of us, due to that very strong Aries stellium, are guided to take action, make choices, do big things for ourselves. But there can also be blockages, there can also be illusions, there can also be emotional ups and downs, and our relationships may also challenge us. So basically, this reading is a channeled one where I just ask Spirit to offer us any guidance, any clarity, any advice that it would like to let us know, through me, of course. So let's just get straight into the reading and see which cards pop up. So basically anything that Spirit would like to let us know, any advice, any guidance with our own personal situations. And of course, regardless what kind of advice or message comes up, everyone has to take what resonates, everyone has to take what matches their own situation, what they're feeling, what they're experiencing, and of course discard the rest because this is kind of general, so it won't resonate, it won't be specific for everyone. But the spirit works in really mysterious ways, so I'm pretty sure there can be a little bit of information for everyone. So the first card that popped up is the Ace of Coins, and this is quite fitting. But let me just get a couple more cards to take a look at the bigger picture. The Tower. Yep. The Four of Coins, the King of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. So first of all, let me just rearrange this so everyone can see all of the cards. Well, first of all, this Ace of Coins represents that one way or another, all of us are concerned with our material situations. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be money, a job, income. It can simply be what normality, what stability means for us personally. So all of us are really fighting to become more stable, to become more grounded, even if it just means emotionally, because all of us know that how our emotions are, our emotional configuration has a lot of influence and impact on even our physical lives, our health, for example, and our prosperity, the flow, the state of flow, abundance, all of that. So this is where we're truly fighting one way or another in our own individual and unique ways to have a certain kind of stability and security for us, not necessarily to feel in total control in our lives as in an obsessive way, but at least to be able to provide for ourselves either emotionally or materially the comfort that we need. And naturally, this is also written in the stars because this Aries stellium is moving into the sign of Taurus, fixed Earth. So that is all about security and comfort. But I do sense that for most of us, this is much more like a psychological energy because we may have so very many things active working in our lives, projects, goals, decisions. We might truly invest everything that we have in order to make a good plan, to create like a divine architecture of how our future should be unfolding. but this is also psychological energy, because the comfort and basically this sense of being able to trust ourselves, our powers, and basically us being present in the eternal present living life is what matters the most. That is power, that is what we are seeking. Of course, how that translates in outer reality, well, it can, for some people, it can mean a job, an income, better health, better social position, a home, accommodation. Some people are really trying to move. Some people are trying to get their business, get their creative sides into full swing so they can invest all of their powers into it, of course. So this Ace of Coins represents that one way or another, all of us are working exactly for this. Some people need to change it, some people need some closures, while some people need actually the new beginnings. Because even though this new beginning is very real in their minds, in their souls, yet it has to still reflect in physical reality. Now, this tower, well, this is definitely the challenge that all of us are facing. Some people are challenged by internal forces. For example, sudden, unexpected twists and turns of events. Some people are heavily influenced by what is going on in the world out there, because you can imagine that this energy of rebellion, revolution, fighting for freedom, demanding their rights, even if you're totally detached, even if we're minding our own business and not watching the news and etc., well, the energy itself and the psychological state of the collective, of the masses, is still influencing us in a very strong way. So this is basically taking away our sense of security, but at the same time, the tower is also the inner warrior. The tower is where, this spirit inside of us concentrates into a singularity, and there comes the moment when it says, well, it is either my way or the highway. I want it all or I want nothing at all. So this is where some of us are getting into this very radical vibes, where we really want things seriously. May those be like spiritual things, as in whatever we're trying to manifest, or if spirit is guiding us and promised us certain things, or it actually foretold us either through dreams or synchronicities or through other readers that things are gonna come, things are getting into a shape and form, things are crystallizing. Now we are actually demanding that to take place. So either we get what we need or leave us alone. And I know that from a spiritual perspective, this might not be the most peaceful and the most serene attitude, but this is actually the theme of the present moment. And actually, the universe is encouraging this. It is not taking it personally, or it's not giving it a bad name, but rather this is what we have to do right now. This is where the tower that hits the lightning, the tower is our old lives, the tower is our basically comfort zone, the tower is whatever that inner structure that we're trying to change, the new beginning, for example. A new beginning can only take place if this crumbles, if this is razed to the ground, if this is dust. And sometimes the universe says, well, I'm not gonna strike at you. I am not going to send this lightning bolt into your life, but rather I'll give you the detonation, and through your spirit, through your willpower, through your instinct, that inner warrior of yours, you detonate your security whenever you feel like it. And this is exactly the Four of Coins, because the Four of Coins is Capricorn energy. It is our strength, it is our influence, it is our mastery, it is basically our earthly power. And naturally, I do expect that most people who are watching this channel, their earthly power is actually their spiritual strength, where through the soul, through emotions, through their intellect, through their willpower, they bend even matter. This is where faith can move even mountains, and this is exactly where the divine is guiding us. Now, if we have blockages, obstacles in our lives, and if the universe is not doing that much to remove them or to rearrange our lives, well, the reason why things are this way is because it knows that we have more power inside of us that we could possibly imagine. This is where things are turning quite quantum. This is where our higher self is much closer to us than ever before in our past. This is where we're almost in a state of total innocence when someone is born and basically they don't have a very strong rationality, they don't have a strong sense of logic, they have no life experience, but they do have all the intelligence of their spirit. So the universe is relying on that inner force to turn into a volcano and to erupt, and that eruption can truly change everything in our lives. So the universe is actually encouraging us to be this Four of Coins, to own our powers, to believe even the impossible, and basically this tower means weaving creativity and destruction, light and dark, the higher self and the shadow into one singularity where we just basically get where we want, where we shoot a very strong, empowered arrow of our desires, of our dreams, and that arrow hits the target, especially with this Four of Coins. You know, Capricorn is a very, very calculated and precise energy. You know, if we are right now in this present moment, symbolically speaking, of course, a Capricorn type of sharpshooter, well, that is where our arrow will not miss. May that arrow be sheer willpower. May that arrow be a precise calculation, a plan. May that arrow be, for example, a mating call if we want to attract a partner into our lives. Not just in a romantic sense, it can be business partner, it can be sponsor, it can be someone to give us earthly power, resources, money, help. So we are extremely empowered. And if the universe is not personally, so to speak, intervening in our lives, as in this tower moment is actually beneficial right now. We want this to happen. We want the past, the old normality, our already stale inner structures to be demolished, to change, so that we can rebuild, so that we can embody this Ace of Coins, the life that we are comfortable living. Basically, the life, the body our soul wants to inhabit, our homes here on earth. So, because the universe is not doing this, basically, it's not handing this down on a silver tray, but it is increasing our power. So this Knight of Wands, for some people, this massive increase of power is gonna feel like, even in this present moment, like a huge frustration. It feels like an inner anger, but it's not the irrational type. It is where almost like you can feel your inner power boiling up, waiting to explode. It just wants to find the right moment. It is also a question of divine timing, but chances are for many of us, the time is very, very near for a breakthrough. So, symbolically speaking, let me just tell you like an analogy. You know, the praying mantis strikes in a second, in an instant, and when it grabs its prey, that's it. There is no hope. It has what it wanted, but before it can basically strike at its prey, it has to build up its strength and be very, very patient for the prey to move into the position, and that is divine timing. And right now, this divine timing, the inner clock, and the cosmic clock, better said, is ticking inside of us, in our souls. It is an inner power, and this is where willpower, ambition, and even this frustration is hand in hand with our intellect, especially our higher cerebral functions. This is where our minds are very, very quantic. They operate in a way they have never operated before. So that's why right now we might find it a little bit confusing and difficult to figure out what's going on with us. What is this state that we're experiencing? What is this very, very strong inner tension? Well, this is what it is. We are the lightning bolt that's gonna strike at our towers. It is just a question of the right moment. As I said, like the praying mantis, we are the praying mantis now. The prey is very near, it is in sight, it is in range, but it has to move into the right position, because otherwise it will escape, and who knows when we'll have another chance. So we're building up our strength, we're building up our singularity, we're building up our inner power for that moment when we have to strike, when we have to lash out. And basically the praying mantis, it has such a strong grip that nothing will escape it. So that is the power of opportunity. That is what the universe is preparing us for. So even if we feel a little bit stagnant, even if we feel chaotic, even if we live in a kind of dichotomy, as in we feel so very powerful, we feel so much alive and just ready to embrace everything about us, our stories, our passions, yet still outer reality, external reality is stuck, or not even stuck, but it's running a different program, the protests and the global stuff, etc. Well, that must not really deter us, because we are ready. We must trust our instincts. We must trust this inner force, because that is where the universe is right now. It's not out there. It is not in the cosmos. It is not in the ether. It is more inside than ever before, inside our souls, inside our mind, inside our passions, and even inside our earthly self. So basically, we are just ready to strike, to accomplish, but we need to wait for the appropriate moment, so to speak. Now, let's clarify these a little bit. Let's see what other messages the universe would like to deliver us. Maybe a little bit of extra guidance. Or maybe what we can expect in the very close future. Oh, so let's see here. The Six of Coins reversed and the Four of Wands reversed. Another one, the Seven of Swords. Now, first of all, the Six of Coins is very, very straightforward. It means that if there was ever a time in our lives when we have to invest everything that we have, money, power, belief, especially belief, help from others, everything that is available to us into the self, that time is now. And because it's reversed, well, first of all, we have to, how should I even explain this? A blind investment, just going out there and spending money or whatever, of course, is not advised. This is where we have to know the perfect moment. We have to feel it. But when the moment arises, well, have no second thoughts. Go and do it. Sign that contract that pops up and you just feel that it's right for you. Buy that equipment, the car or house or whatever it is, or go to that course, go and study. Whatever the Six of Coins represents, it's investment to yourself. Not only do you deserve it, but you need it. And another side of this energy, if anything, this time do not squander your power. Do not give it away freely. Do not waste it. And do not procrastinate. Yes, even if things are stuck and are not moving as quickly as you like it to, well, that doesn't mean that you have to, go to sleep and rest. You just have to be ready. You have to be in a state of alertness, but not as much as in for this to turn into anxiety. So you just have to be in a mode of preparation because things are definitely coming, and we're not talking about months, we're just talking about days, or in the worst case scenario, weeks. But whenever the universe gives you either the money, the contract, the opportunity, the partnership, whatever this Six of Coins means, it is basically help. It is basically resources allocated to you. Invest it. Do not be shy. Basically, do everything in your power to empower yourself, both materially, situationally, especially if it's a contract, or spiritually, in any way, shape, or form. Whatever the universe gives you, accept it, take it, and use it as soon as you can. But of course, with inner guidance. So don't just squander it. When you feel that you have to do it, you have to do it. And this Four of Wands reversed is also very symbolic. Some people in your life, no matter how much you love them, especially if they're family, especially if they're like siblings, best friends, old allies, colleagues, people who you always used to support, and even if this was mutual, some relationship, I'm not saying that they have to end, but they have to be distanced because you outgrown so many of these connections, so many of these alliances, that you really, really need to go on your path, on your own journey, follow your own dreams. And because this is Four of Wands, those people who truly love you and were really valuable allies or friends or family, they will understand you. So don't be afraid. Speak your truth. Stand up for who you are, because you won't be laughed at. You won't be questioned. They will actually support you and understand, and they will process that you need to do your own thing. And don't be afraid of closures. Don't be afraid of distancing. Don't be afraid of physical separations, because everyone will understand. So if you have to make a move, if you have to say goodbye, for example, to an old job, an old relationship, a shared accommodation, a friendship, etc. Not in the way that it's over forever, just that physically or in any kind of way you have to separate, you have to go and do your own thing, so you won't have time for them. You must do it because they will understand. Chances are they're actually wishing this for you as well. Chances are that they're maybe praying for you, they're maybe supporting you. They actually want your highest good, and they have already thought about this, especially if this means family, that if going on your own way is the best thing for you, then you have their blessing. Now, the Seven of Swords is a little bit complicated because life, especially in this day and age, is also about paperwork, contracts, agreements, promises, etc. So some people might be delayed by paperwork or relation with authorities. The flow and circulation of official communication and information, it might suffer a little bit of delay, or you might have to rectify certain things, or you might have to wait for like some papers, something to come into your life, that you can work with it, so you can be official, so to speak. You're doing this to be perfectly legal in anything that you want to accomplish. And this might be a little bit slower, but don't let it discourage you. Don't misinterpret it as stagnation, because things will move quite in a favorable speed, they will be hasty enough to get you where you need to be. But you know, paperwork is paperwork, especially in this present moment situation. No one can expect it to go at lightning speed because, you know, restrictions and even authorities or lawyers or, you know, clerks and secretaries and those who have to process the paperwork are probably super solicited. So things are the way they are. This bureaucratic side of the world is almost like a separate dimension, and we have to respect that. But just because things are not moving as fast as we want them to, it doesn't mean that we're stopped or things are not exactly as they should be. And especially if you're waiting for like separation papers, a divorce, etc., well, those are coming as well, but chances are they might actually enter your possession in a way that you can work with it in the summer, maybe July. So be patient and don't panic. Things are definitely in motion. Now let's ask oracle cards what the universe would like to advise us with. The Guardian of Fire, and the Five of Earth, Death, and the Hermit. This is so beautiful. The Guardian of Fire basically represents that for quite a long time now, you truly defended yourself. You fought for your dreams. You fought for your principles. You fought for your dignity and honor in absolutely every area of your life. And it was really tough to keep your passion, to keep your desires, your dreams, your inner fire burning and not extinguishing, because this Five of Earth, you see, this is challenges. For some people, this is ill health, medical problems. For other people, it means like poverty. It means total lack of income, resources, help from others, compassion from others, or even quite the contrary, setbacks and nastiness in some cases. But basically, this is a crisis that you had to endure. And despite, you know, look at this image. This is where someone is basically was hiking in the forest, and a huge storm, a huge basically atmospheric turbulence came, and they had to seek shelter. So this is like your protective shell, this is like the cocoon. You had to stay in it until the storm was over, but you didn't just despair, you kept your inner fire burning. You never gave up on your ambitions, you never gave up on your dreams, you never gave up on your passions. And that was the biggest blessing of your life, and that was the best thing you could have done for yourself, because look at what's coming, death. This is change. This is when the crisis, the storm, the poverty, the ill health, the scarcity is over. This is where the wheel of fortune, and how ironic, this was exactly on the bottom of the deck, and I just looked at it as I was pronouncing the word. So yeah, I'll put this here as well. This is where the wheel of fortune is truly turning, and basically nothing can stop it. Nature doesn't stop. The four seasons. Can anyone truly stop the four seasons from succeeding each other? No matter how dark, no matter how cold the night is, it is guaranteed by the divine laws, by the laws of physics, that the sun will rise once again the next day. And that is exactly what is happening for you. Yes, you might not have received that much help when you were in this situation, when you were in the crisis, when you were in poverty, etc., or ill health, but you endured. You endured to the very last second. And now, like it or not, even if, you know, the divine forces would be against this, the wheel has to turn. Summer, or better said spring, is coming into your life. death, it means that it's taking away the scarcity. The storm is over. Yes, things might be a little bit messy still, but because the sun is already up and shining, you can just walk away from this and look the hermit. This doesn't mean solitude, but it means the light of your own inner truth being an active, integrated part of the self. You cannot go wrong because you can see even in the darkest night. This is almost like, creatures who live at the bottom of the ocean. Well, the sunlight never reaches that. It's total darkness. It is abyss. But nature is even smarter than that. Some beings develop bioluminescence. They are this torch. They are this lamp. They can light the path for themselves, even in total darkness, even in places where the sun never shines. So you have done this. So you're straight on you're exactly where you need to be. You have done everything that you could. The universe and neither your higher self faults you with anything. So don't criticize yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Don't look back and see what you have done wrong. Because when you started this journey, when you set out to find yourself, when you set out to live your dreams, you have done everything that you could, and you were always on the right path, even in those moments when it seemed that the world is dark, when it's doom and gloom, when you were caught up in the dark night of the soul. So that is definitely over. Some of you might not feel it this way right now, but it is actually over. In physical reality, in the divine patterns, in nature, in your own karma, in your fated aspect of your life, your unconscious, for example, it is actually over. So this hermit is seeking the fulfillment of his journey. He is seeking his shelter. He no longer needs to be a hermit because he found the knowledge. He found his own coping skills. He found his own methodology, his own modus operandi. He has inside of him absolutely everything that he needs. He is so grateful for all the inner virtues, for all the wisdom, for seeing miracles, for seeing the spirit truly playing out in someone's destiny. So you have absolutely everything that you need, and you're almost there, you're almost home, you're almost found. So just a tiny bit of endurance, because this death card, already ended the dark night of the soul. So what comes is light, what comes is summer, and what comes is you meeting other hermits and joining forces, sharing experiences, and building something truly beautiful together. May it be in the sense of a partnership, may it be a sense of a soul family, may it be in the sense of a business partner, or whatever